I thought filming my husband's reaction to a fake divorce prank would get us 1 million views. I never thought it would actually end my marriage. My name is Lydia, I'm 29, and up until 3 weeks ago, Brett and I were the couple everyone envied. 3 years married, still laughing at each other's jokes, still holding hands in the grocery store. People literally called us relationship goals in the comments of our photos. But lately, something's been off. Brett's been working late every night for the past month, sometimes not coming home until after midnight. He says it's a huge deal at the firm, career making, and I want to be supportive. I do. But when your husband starts showering at the office and barely looks up from his phone at dinner, you start feeling more like a roommate than a wife. That's when Vanessa planted the idea. You need to shake things up, she said last Tuesday, sprawled across my couch with her usual glass of wine. Do that divorce prank everyone's doing. Film his reaction. It'll either be hilarious or it'll make him realize he's been neglecting you. I laughed it off at first. Brett and I have always had a playful relationship. We prank each other constantly. Last year, I convinced him our car was getting towed, and he sprinted 6 blocks in his pajamas. He got me back by hiring an actor to pretend to be a cop pulling me over. We laughed for days. This felt like the next level of that. A little edgy, sure, but harmless. Vanessa came over the next afternoon with fake legal documents she'd printed from some template online. They looked shockingly real. Official headers, legal jargon, even a fake attorney's signature. She helped me position 3 hidden cameras around the living room, each angle perfect for capturing his face. This is going to be iconic content, babe, she kept saying, adjusting a camera behind a plant. Trust me, you guys are going to laugh about this forever. I wanted to believe her. The plan was simple. Hand Brett the papers when he got home, let him panic for maybe 30 seconds, then reveal the cameras and laugh it off. We'd post the video. Everyone would see how strong our relationship was that we could joke about this stuff, and maybe it would remind him to come home earlier. That was the plan. Brett texted me at 6:30. Home in 20. Can't wait to see you. My heart squeezed reading those words. See, he still loved me. This was going to be fine. More than fine, it was going to be funny. Vanessa left before he arrived, giving me a huge hug at the door. You've got this. Film everything. I want to see his face when you tell him. I checked the cameras one more time. All recordings. The fake divorce papers sat in a manila envelope on the coffee table, looking way more official than I was comfortable with now that I was alone with them. My phone buzzed. A text from my sister. Good luck tonight. Can't wait to hear how it goes. Wait, how did she know about this? I called Vanessa. Did you tell people? Just a few, she said breezily. Your sister, Amanda from book club, my boyfriend. They're all excited to see the video. My stomach dropped. Vanessa, what if he doesn't think it's funny? Babe, you guys prank each other all the time. This is literally your thing. Stop overthinking. She hung up before I could respond. I heard his keys in the lock, and suddenly my hands were shaking. Every instinct was screaming at me to hide the envelope, turn off the cameras, pretend this never happened. But I thought about how distant he'd been, how much I missed the version of us that laughed together, and I grabbed the envelope. The door opened. Brett walked in looking exhausted, his tie loose, his shirt wrinkled. But when he saw me, his whole face lit up. Hey, beautiful, he said, dropping his briefcase and moving toward me for a kiss. I stepped back, stayed in character. We need to talk. His smile faltered. Okay, what's wrong? I handed him the envelope, my heart pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. Just read this. He looked confused but opened it. I watched his face as his eyes scanned the first page. Confusion turned to shock. Shock turned to something I'd never seen on his face before. Fear. Lydia, what is this? His voice cracked on my name. This was it. The moment I was supposed to laugh, point at the cameras, tell him it was all a joke. But something in his expression stopped me. He looked terrified, yes, but also guilty. Is this real? He whispered, still staring at the papers. Are you really leaving me? The way he said it, like he'd been expecting this, like he knew it was coming, made my blood run cold. Brett, I started, but he cut me off. I can explain everything, he said quickly, desperately. I know I've been distant. I know I've been working late. But there's a reason, Lydia. There's a reason for all of it. I wasn't acting anymore. What reason? He ran his hands through his hair, pacing now. The papers crumpled in his fist. I've been trying to figure out how to tell you. I've been working with Rachel on this deal. Rachel? His ex-girlfriend from college. The one he swore he hadn't spoken to in years. Rachel works at the firm now. My voice sounded strange, distant. She started 2 months ago. I didn't tell you because I knew how it would sound, but Lydia, I swear nothing's happened. We're just colleagues. This deal required us to work together, and I know the late nights look bad. But stop talking. He stopped. The silence felt like broken glass. I looked at him, really looked at him, and saw a man who'd been keeping secrets. A man who'd just assumed his wife was divorcing him and immediately jumped to defend why he'd been spending time with his ex-girlfriend. A man who didn't once ask if this was a joke. It's fake, I finally said. The papers are fake. It was supposed to be a prank. The color drained from his face. What? I pointed at the cameras. For a video. Vanessa helped me set it up. I was going to film your reaction, and then we'd laugh about it. But neither of us was laughing. Brett stared at the cameras, then back at me, and something shifted in his expression. The fear disappeared. What replaced it was worse. Anger. You did this as a prank. His voice was quiet, controlled, and dangerous. You made me think you were leaving me as a joke. You've been working late with your ex-girlfriend for 2 months and didn't tell me. I shot back, my own anger rising. Were you ever going to mention that? There's nothing to mention. We're working on a case. Then why did you look so guilty when you opened that envelope? He didn't have an answer for that. We stood there in our living room, surrounded by hidden cameras capturing every moment of our relationship cracking open, and I realized I'd made a terrible mistake. Not the prank itself, but thinking we were still the kind of couple who could laugh about something like this. Brett picked up his briefcase. I need some air. Brett, wait. But he was already gone, the door slamming behind him hard enough to rattle the picture frames on the wall. I stood there alone, listening to his car start and pull away, and slowly turned to look at the camera hidden behind the plant. The little red light was still recording. I'd wanted to create viral content that showed how strong our relationship was. Instead, I just filmed the exact moment it started to fall apart. He didn't laugh. He didn't panic. He just looked relieved. I'm still standing in the living room 20 minutes after Brett left, staring at nothing, when my phone explodes with texts. Vanessa, my sister, Amanda from book club, everyone wants to know how it went. I can't even type a response. The cameras are still recording. I should turn them off, delete everything, pretend this never happened. But I can't move. I kept replaying the look on his face when he opened that envelope. The fear. Yes, but underneath it, guilt. Real guilt. And Rachel. His ex-girlfriend Rachel, who apparently works at his firm now, who he's been spending every late night with for 2 months. My phone rings. Vanessa. Don't answer it. I whisper to myself, but my hand moves anyway. Oh my God, tell me everything. Her voice is too loud, too excited. Did you get it all on camera? Was he freaking out? He's been working with Rachel, I say flatly. Silence. Then, wait, Rachel? College ex-Rachel. She works at his firm. Started 2 months ago. He never told me. Okay, but that doesn't mean. He looked guilty, Van. When he thought I was really leaving him, the first thing he did was defend why he's been with her. Another pause. Where is he now? Gone. He left. Lydia, listen to me. You need to turn off those cameras and delete everything. This isn't funny anymore. But I'm not listening because headlights are sweeping across the living room window. He's back. I hung up without saying goodbye. Brett walks through the door and he's different now. Calmer. Like he's made a decision about something. He doesn't look at me right away. Instead, he goes to the kitchen, pours himself a glass of water, and drinks the whole thing. The silence is suffocating. I'm sorry, I finally say. The prank was stupid. I shouldn't have. You're right, he interrupts, setting down the glass. You shouldn't have. He walks back into the living room and sits on the couch, not next to me, but on the far end. The distance between us feels like miles. I've been thinking in the car, he says, his voice eerily calm. Maybe this is a sign. A sign that we're not on the same page anymore. That we haven't been for a while. My throat tightens. Brett, I made a mistake. I was trying to get your attention because you've been so distant and I thought. You thought humiliating me on camera was the answer? He finally looks at me and his eyes are cold. You set up cameras in our home, printed fake legal documents, and ambushed me with a divorce as entertainment. It was supposed to be a joke. We prank each other all the time. We used to, he corrects. We used to do a lot of things. The past tense hits me like a slap. What's that supposed to mean? He leans forward, elbows on his knees, staring at the floor. When's the last time we had a real conversation, Lydia? Not about bills or schedules or whose turn it is to do the dishes. When's the last time you asked me about my day and actually wanted to hear the answer? That's not fair. You're the one who's been coming home at midnight. Because I'm working. Because I'm trying to make a partner. So we can have the life you keep posting about online. The accusation stings because it's partially true. I do post about our life. Our perfect house. Our perfect marriage. Our perfect everything. Except none of it's been perfect for months. If you're so miserable, why didn't you just tell me? My voice cracks because I thought it would get better. I thought once this deal closed, we'd have time again. But tonight, when I saw those papers, he trails off, shaking his head. What? What did you think? He looks up at me, and what I see in his face makes my blood freeze. I thought maybe it would be easier this way. The room tilts. Easier? Brett, what are you saying? He stands up, pulling his phone from his pocket. I need to show you something. I should have shown you weeks ago, but I was scared. And now after tonight, after this prank, he laughs bitterly. I can't keep pretending. Pretending what? He opens his phone, scrolls for a moment, then hands it to me. It's a text thread. Recent messages, dozens of them, late-night conversations that span weeks. The name at the top makes my blood run cold. Rachel. But it's not what I expected. These aren't flirty texts or secret confessions. They're work messages, yes, but between them are personal ones. Him venting about feeling disconnected. Her offering advice. Him saying he doesn't know if he's happy anymore. Her saying she understands that relationships are hard, that sometimes people grow apart. And then, from 3 days ago, a message from him that makes my hands shake. Maybe we made a mistake getting married so young. Maybe we're just trying to force something that isn't working anymore. Her response, you deserve to be happy, Brett. Whatever that looks like. I can't breathe. I look up at him and he won't meet my eyes. You've been emotionally cheating on me, I whisper. No, he says quickly. Not cheating. Just talking to someone who gets it. Gets what? That you want to leave your wife. I didn't say that. You typed it. 3 days ago you told your ex-girlfriend that maybe marrying me was a mistake. He runs his hands through his hair, frustrated. I was venting. I was confused. You and I barely speak anymore, and when we do, it's either small talk or fighting about why I'm working late. I felt alone, Lydia. I still feel alone. Tears are streaming down my face now, hot and angry. So instead of talking to me, your wife, you talked to Rachel. And then you hid it from me for 2 months. Because I knew you'd react exactly like this. Like what? Like someone whose husband has been having an emotional affair. It's not an affair, he shouts, and it's the first time he's raised his voice. He immediately catches himself, lowering it. It's not an affair. We're just friends. Colleagues. I needed someone to talk to. You have me. Do I? He steps closer and his voice breaks. Because tonight, when I walked through that door excited to finally see my wife, you handed me fake divorce papers for a prank video. That's what our marriage has become, Lydia. Content. The word hangs between us like poison. I want to defend myself, but I can't. Because he's right. I've been so focused on what our marriage looks like online that I stopped paying attention to what it feels like in real life. But that doesn't excuse what he's done. I want you to leave, I say quietly. Lydia, get out. Go to a hotel. Go to Vanessa's. Go to Rachel's for all I care. But I can't look at you right now. He stares at me for a long moment, and I think he's going to fight it. But then he just nods, picks up his briefcase, and walks to the door. Before he leaves, he turns back one more time. For what it's worth, he says, his voice hollow, those fake papers. They hurt less than what you've actually been doing to us for months. I stand there in the wreckage of my marriage, surrounded by cameras that captured everything, and realize I've made the worst mistake of my life. He grabbed his keys, his wallet, his briefcase, and the door closed behind him. But in his rush to get away from me, from the cameras, from everything, he forgot his phone. It's sitting there face up, the screen dark now. I should leave it alone. I should respect his privacy even now. But my hands are shaking and my heart is shattered and I need to understand how we got here. I picked it up. Type in his passcode, our wedding anniversary, the one thing he never changed. The screen unlocks. The Rachel messages are still open, but something nags at me. The way he reacted tonight wasn't just about feeling disconnected. It was deeper than that. More final. I scroll through his recent conversations, work contacts, his brother, a group chat with college friends. And then I see it, minimized at the bottom of his messages. A name I don't recognize, Marlo. My finger hovers over it for a moment. Then I tap. The messages go back 6 months. 6 months of daily conversations I knew nothing about. Good morning texts, late night confessions, photos of sunsets with captions like, "Wish you were here to see this." I scroll up, my stomach turning with each message, and then I see it. From 4 months ago. I know we said we'd move on, but I never stopped thinking about you. About us. His response, me neither. Some days I wonder if we gave up too easily. My hands are trembling so badly I can barely hold the phone. I keep scrolling, faster now, desperate and terrified. Hundreds of messages, maybe thousands. They talk about everything, his work stress, her new job in Denver, memories from their time together, regrets about how things ended. And then from 2 weeks ago, I bought a ticket. I'm coming to see you next month. Her reply, I've been waiting 3 years to hear you say that. 3 years. 3 years she's been waiting. We've been married for 3 years. The phone slips from my grip onto the couch as the pieces click into place. I'm gasping for air. My chest so tight it feels like I'm drowning. Keys jangle in the door. Brett walks back in and he looks stressed, patting his pockets. I forgot mine. He sees me, sees his phone on the couch between us. See my face. He knows. Lydia. Who is Marlo? My voice doesn't sound like mine. It's cold, detached, like it's coming from somewhere outside my body. All the color drains from his face. He stands frozen in the doorway, one hand still on the knob. Answer me. The scream rips out of me, raw and desperate. Who is she? He closes the door slowly, sets his keys down, won't look at me. She's my ex-wife. The room tilts. The words don't make sense. They can't make sense. You're what? We were married for 2 years. We divorced 3 years before I met you. His voice is quiet, almost gentle, like that will somehow make this better. I didn't think it mattered. You were married? I'm on my feet now, my whole body shaking. You told me I was your first everything. You told me I was the only person you'd ever wanted to marry. You were my first real love, he says desperately, stepping toward me. Marlo and I got married too young. We were 22. It was a mistake from the start. We barely knew each other. Then why are you texting her every single day? My voice cracks. Why are you telling her things you don't tell me? Why are you buying plane tickets to see her? He runs his hands through his hair and he won't meet my eyes. That's how I know it's worse than I thought. Brett, I'm deadly calm now. How long have you been talking to her? She reached out 6 months ago. The words come out in a rush. I was on that business trip to Denver and she saw on social media that I was in town. She asked if I wanted to get coffee. The Denver trip. February. He was gone for 5 days. Came back different, quieter, more distant, staying up late on his phone. I thought he was stressed about work. You saw her. Just for coffee. 1 hour. But we started talking after that and he stops, searching for words that won't destroy me. There aren't any. We never really got closure, Lydia. We never properly ended things. And when we started talking again, I realized how much I'd missed having someone who actually understood me. I'm your wife. I'm screaming now, tears streaming down my face. I understand you. I'm supposed to be the person who understands you. Do you? He steps closer and there's something desperate in his eyes now. Something that looks like he's been wanting to say this for months. When's the last time you asked me about the things that actually matter to me? When's the last time we talked about something deeper than what to order for dinner or which filter looks better on your posts? I slapped him. The sound cracks through the room like thunder. His hand goes to his cheek, and we both stand there in shock at what I've done. You don't get to blame me for this, I say, my voice shaking with rage. You lied to me. You hid an entire marriage from me. You've been emotionally cheating on me for 6 months with a woman you promised to love forever before you even knew I existed. It's not cheating if I fell out of love first. The words hit me like a physical blow. I actually stagger backward, my hip hitting the edge of the coffee table. What did you say? His eyes fill with tears, but his voice is steady. Final. I've been unhappy for over a year, Lydia. Maybe longer. I kept trying to make it work, kept telling myself it would get better, but every day I felt more alone. And then Marlo came back into my life, and I remembered what it felt like to be with someone who actually sees me. I see you. I'm looking right at you. No, you're looking at the version of me that fits in your Instagram posts. The husband in the couple's photos. The prop in your perfect life. His voice breaks. When's the last time you asked me what I was afraid of? What I dreamed about? When's the last time you knew me? I want to scream that he's wrong, that I know everything about him, but the words die in my throat. Because somewhere deep down, in a place I've been refusing to look, I know he's right. Get out, I whisper. Get out of my house. Lydia. Please, I didn't want it to happen like this. Get out. He picks up his phone from the couch, pauses at the door like he wants to say something else, then think better of it. Your prank tonight? His voice is hollow. It gave me permission to finally do what I've been too scared to do for months. So thank you for that. He's blaming me. Standing here after lying to me for 6 months, after hiding an entire marriage, after falling back in love with someone else, and he's blaming me. You're a coward, I say, and my voice is eerily calm now. You're a coward who couldn't be honest with his wife, so you built a backup relationship and waited for an excuse to leave. Something flickers across his face, guilt, maybe, or recognition. But then it hardens into something cold. I'll send the rest of my things next week. My lawyer will be in touch. Your lawyer? The reality crashes over me in waves. You already have a lawyer? How long have you been planning this? He doesn't answer. He just opens the door. Don't contact me unless it's through him. And then he's gone. I stand there in the silence, staring at the closed door, and I can't move. Can't breathe. Can't process what just happened. The door bursts open and Vanessa rushes in, breathless. She must have been sitting in her car outside, waiting. Lydia, I saw him leave again. Are you okay? What happened? He was married before. The words sound insane. He has an ex-wife. He's been talking to her for 6 months. He's in love with her. What? No, that's... Get out. Lydia. Get out. I'm screaming at her, shoving her toward the door. This is your fault. You pushed me to do that stupid prank. You said it would be funny. You said it would fix things. I didn't know he was going to. Get out. She's crying now, reaching for me, but I can't stand to be touched. I shove her again, and she stumbles backward out the door. Lydia, please. I slam the door in her face. Then I sink to the floor in the entryway, the same spot where I handed Brett those fake divorce papers 4 hours ago. 4 hours. That's all it took for my entire life to implode. I don't know how long I will stay there. Long enough for the sun to come up. Long enough for my phone to die from all the ignored calls and texts. Long enough to cry until there's nothing left inside me but a hollow, aching emptiness. The cameras are still recording. Every moment of my humiliation is captured in high definition. I should get up, turn them off, delete everything, but I can't move. 2 days later, I'm lying in bed in the same clothes, scrolling mindlessly through my phone because it's the only thing I can do that doesn't require thinking. That's when I see it. A tagged photo on Instagram. Brett's college friend Marcus posted it yesterday. Great catching up with this guy in Denver. Posted 24 hours ago. Brett told me he was staying with a friend here in town. But he didn't go to a friend's house. He flew to Denver the same night he left me. I zoom in on the photo. Brett's smiling wider than I've seen him smile in months, his arm around Marcus at some rooftop bar, the Denver skyline glittering behind them. And in the background, barely visible but unmistakable, a woman with dark hair and a bright smile, looking at Brett like he hung the moon. Marlo. My hands are shaking so hard I dropped the phone. He didn't just leave me. He left me for her. He'd been planning it all along. And I handed him the perfect excuse. Retry. I hired a private investigator, and what I found made the affair look like mercy. I haven't eaten in 3 days. Can't sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see Brett's face when he said he fell out of love. I see Marlo in that Instagram photo, looking at my husband like he belongs to her. Maybe he does now. I'm lying in bed at 2 in the morning, doing what I've done every night since he left, obsessively refreshing Brett's social media. But tonight, everything's different. His Instagram is private. His Facebook is deactivated. Even his LinkedIn shows limited information. He's erasing himself, making sure I can't see his new life with her. My phone buzzes. Vanessa, I know you're awake. I'm outside. Please let me in. I should ignore her. I screamed at her, blamed her, shoved her out of my house. But the truth is, I'm drowning, and she's the only person who knows the whole story. I open the door. She's holding 2 coffees and a bag from the bakery we used to go to every Sunday. Her eyes are red and puffy. She's been crying too. I'm so sorry, she says before I can speak. You were right. I pushed you to do that stupid prank. I thought I was helping, but her voice breaks. I'm so sorry, Lydia. I take one of the coffees. Come in. We sit in the kitchen, not the living room. I can't go in there anymore. Can't look at the couch where I read those messages where my marriage ended. I want to help, Vanessa says quietly. However I can. Whatever you need. I need answers. My voice sounds hollow. I need to know how long he's been planning this. I need to know if any of it was real. She reaches across the table and squeezes my hand. Then let's get you answers. That's how, 2 days later, I find myself sitting in a cramped office above a dry cleaner, across from a private investigator named Marcus Chun, who looks nothing like the PIs in movies. He's in his 50s, wearing khakis and a golf shirt, and he talks about surveillance like he's discussing the weather. I'll need access to any joint accounts, his full name and birth date, known associates, vehicle information, he says, typing notes on a laptop covered in cat stickers. I can track his movements, financial activity, phone records if you have access. What exactly are you looking for? Everything, I say. I want to know everything. Vanessa sits beside me, her hand on my shoulder. Marcus looks at me with something like pity. Mrs. Carter, in my experience, people hire me hoping I won't find anything. But I usually do. Are you sure you're ready for that? I'm already destroyed, I tell him. Whatever you find can't be worse than what I'm imagining. He nods slowly. I'll have preliminary findings in 72 hours. Those 72 hours are the longest of my life. I go through the motions, shower, eat, sleep, but I'm not really present. I'm suspended in this terrible limbo between my old life and whatever comes next. When Marcus calls, I'm in the middle of boxing up Brett's things. He said he'd send someone for them, but it's been a week and no one's come. Maybe he's hoping I'll just burn it all. Mrs. Carter, I need you to come to my office. There are some things you should see in person. My stomach drops. Just tell me, is he living with her? It's more complicated than that. Please come in. An hour later, I'm sitting in that same cramped office, and Marcus is spreading documents across his desk like he's laying out evidence at a crime scene. Your husband has been very busy, he says. Let's start with the basics. He's been staying at the Four Seasons downtown, not with Marlo. She's still in Denver, but they talk multiple times a day. Video calls mostly. He slides a printed log across the desk. Times, dates, duration of calls. Some lasting hours. Here's where it gets interesting. He opens a folder. 8 months ago, your husband created an LLC called Summit Peak Investments. It's registered in Delaware, which is common for privacy. The co-owner is Marlo Chun. She kept her married name from their first marriage. The room tilts. What kind of company? Real estate investment. According to the business plan I was able to access, they're positioning themselves to buy distressed properties in Denver, renovate them, and flip them. He pauses. The initial capital investment was $250,000. My mouth goes dry. We don't have that kind of money. You did. He slides bank statements toward me. These are from your joint savings account. Over the past 8 months, your husband has been making transfers to the LLC. 5,000 here, 10,000 there. Never enough to trigger alerts, but it adds up. I'm staring at the numbers, but they don't make sense. I check that account maybe once a month, just to make sure the balance is growing. I never noticed the slow bleed. That money was from my grandmother's inheritance, I whisper. She left it to me when she died 2 years ago. I put it in our savings for emergencies, for a down payment on a bigger house someday, for... He stole from you. Vanessa's voice is sharp with rage. He stole your inheritance to start a business with his ex-wife. Marcus continues, professional and detached. The LLC has been active for 6 months. They've already purchased 2 properties in Denver. Both are being renovated. Your husband has been flying to Denver every 2 weeks. The trips he told you were for work. He shows me credit card statements. Flights to Denver, hotels, dinners at expensive restaurants, all charged to our joint credit card, buried among legitimate business expenses, so I wouldn't notice. The business deal he was working on. I say slowly, the pieces clicking into place. The one that kept him at the office until midnight. That wasn't for his law firm. No, he's been putting together investor presentations for Summit Peak. He and Marlo are planning to pitch to venture capital firms next month. If they get funding, they're projecting to scale to 15 properties within 2 years. He built a whole life with her. My voice sounds distant, like it's coming from underwater. While he was married to me, he built a future with someone else using my money. Marcus slides one more document across the desk. This is the operating agreement for the LLC, filed 6 months ago. I read it, and my hand started to shake. In the event of dissolution of the partnership, all assets will be split equally between Brett Carter and Marlo Chun. In the event of the death or incapacitation of one partner, all assets transfer to the surviving partner. They're legal partners, Vanessa breathes, not just business partners. This is binding. More than that, Marcus says quietly. Look at the date this was notarized. I look. March 15th. Our 4th wedding anniversary was March 12th. 3 days after our anniversary, while I was posting photos of us at the restaurant where he proposed with the caption, "For years with my forever person," he was signing legal documents that tied his future to another woman. I don't cry. There are no tears left. There's just this cold, crystalline clarity settling over me like ice. Is there more? I ask. Marcus hesitates. Yes, but Mrs. Carter, maybe you should take some time to process. Tell me. He slides a printed email chain across the desk. These are from Brett's work email, which he apparently uses for personal correspondence. He and Marlo have been planning this for longer than 6 months. I read the first email, dated over a year ago. From Marlo Chun to Brett Carter subject, what if? I know we said we wouldn't do this, but I can't stop thinking about you. About us. About what we could have been if we just waited. Grown up a little before trying to be married. I see your post with her and I'm happy you found someone. Really, I am. But sometimes I wonder if you settled because you couldn't have what we had. His response came 3 hours later. From Brett Carter to Marlo Chin subject, what if? I think about that too. More than I should. Things with Lydia are fine. Good, even. But good isn't the same as right. Does that make sense? Sometimes I look at her and feel like I'm playing a part. Like I'm the husband she wants me to be instead of who I actually am. I miss you. I miss us. The emails continue for months. Getting bolder. More detailed. Planning how they could make it work. The business would be their excuse to spend time together, to rebuild what they lost. By the time they filed the LLC paperwork, they were already in love again. Or maybe they never stopped. There's one more thing, Marcus says, and he actually looks uncomfortable now. I tracked his location history from his phone records. The Denver trips are documented, but there are also several trips to a cabin in Tahoe. Same cabin, multiple weekends over the past 4 months. He shows me rental agreements. A lakefront cabin booked under Summit Peak Investments. They've been taking romantic getaways, Vanessa says flatly. While you thought he was working, I stare at the rental agreements. Valentine's Day weekend. My birthday weekend. Last month when he said he had a mandatory CLE conference. All of it lies. All of it time stolen from our marriage to build something new with her. How much has he taken total? I ask. Marcus checks his notes. From the joint accounts, $268,000. He also took out a line of credit against your house without your signature, forged documents. That's an additional $100,000. He committed fraud. Yes, and you have documentation to prove it. I gather all the papers, bank statements, emails, LLC documents, credit card receipts. This is my marriage, reduced to evidence of betrayal. Every late night, every I love you. Every smile for the camera while he was planning his exit. I stand up. Thank you, Mr. Chun. Send me your final invoice. Mrs. Carter, I know this is overwhelming, but you have options. A good divorce attorney can. I already have an attorney. I don't, but I will by tomorrow. And I have everything I need. Vanessa drives me home because my hands are shaking too badly to hold the steering wheel. She keeps asking if I'm okay, if I want to talk about it, if I need anything. I don't answer. My mind is racing, calculating, planning. Brett thought he was so careful, thought he covered his tracks, made his moves slowly enough that I wouldn't notice until it was too late. Thought he could rewrite our marriage as a mistake he was correcting, make himself the victim of an immature decision instead of what he really is. A thief, a liar, a man who stole my money, my time, my trust, and used it all to build a future with someone else. But he made one critical mistake. He underestimated me. Back home, I spread every document across the dining room table. I take photos of everything, upload them to a secure cloud drive, make physical copies. I'm meticulous, thorough, leaving nothing to chance. Then I pick up my phone and make 2 calls. The first is to Sharon Goldstein, the most ruthless divorce attorney in the state. Her retainer is $15,000. I pay it with our joint credit card. The second call is harder. The phone rings 4 times before he answers. Hello, Mr. Chin. I use Marlowe's married name deliberately. This is Lydia Carter. I believe we have something important to discuss about your ex-wife and my husband. There's a long pause. I'm listening, he says. I don't cry anymore. I'm past that. Past grief, past heartbreak, past the woman who thought a prank video would save her marriage. That Lydia is gone. The woman sitting at this table, surrounded by evidence of her husband's betrayal, is someone new. Someone who knows exactly what to do next. I have some documents I think you'll want to see, I say calmly. When can we meet? I didn't just want him back. I wanted him to lose everything like I did. Sharon Goldstein doesn't waste time on sympathy. The morning after I hire her, she's already filed divorce papers and emergency motions to freeze every account with Brett's name on it. The fraud is egregious, she says over the phone, her voice sharp and efficient. Forging your signature on loan documents, draining your inheritance without consent. A judge will crucify him. But Lydia, I need you to be smart about this. No contact with him directly. Everything goes through me. Understood? I mean it. The second you engage with him emotionally, you give his lawyer ammunition. Stay cold. Stay focused. Cold. I can do cold. By noon, Brett's access to our joint accounts is frozen. The LLC account, the one funding his dream life with Marlowe, is locked pending investigation. Our house is under a legal hold, meaning he can't sell or refinance without my consent. I imagine him getting the notification. Imagine his face when he realizes I'm not just rolling over and accepting this. The thought makes me smile for the first time in a week. But freezing assets isn't enough. I want him to feel what I felt. The humiliation, the betrayal, the sudden freefall of watching your entire life disintegrate. That's when I open Instagram and search for Marlo Chun. Her profile is public, carefully curated. Lots of sunset photos, inspirational quotes about second chances, pictures of Denver looking impossibly beautiful. She has the aesthetic of someone who thinks she's the heroine of her own story. She has no idea she's about to become the villain of mine. I send her a message. Hi, Marlo. I know this is unexpected, but I wanted to reach out woman to woman. Brett told me about your history, and I understand that feelings can be complicated. I'm not angry at you, I'm hurt, but I think we both deserve closure. Would you be willing to talk? Just once? I make myself sound broken. Desperate. Exactly the kind of woman she'd feel superior to. She responds within an hour. Lydia, I appreciate you reaching out. I know this must be incredibly difficult. I'd be happy to talk if you think it would help. Here's my number. Hook. Line. Sinker. I call her that evening. Set my phone to record before I dial. Hello. Her voice is softer than I expected. Almost gentle. Marlo, hi. Thank you for agreeing to talk. I let my voice shake just a little. I just need to understand. When did it start? She sighs. I reached out to Brett about a year ago. I saw he was in Denver for work, and I thought, I don't know, maybe we could have coffee and get closure. We never really ended things properly, you know? We were so young when we got married, and the divorce was so messy. But you knew he was married to me. A pause. Yes, I knew. And I'm not proud of what happened next, Lydia. But when we met for coffee, it was like no time had passed. We talked for 4 hours. He told me he was struggling in his marriage, that he felt like he'd made another mistake. Another mistake. The words taste like poison. I'm sorry. That was insensitive. But he was unhappy, Lydia. Surely you knew that. So you decided to help him steal from me? I let some of the coldness slip through. What? No, I didn't. The LLC. Summit Peak Investments. $268,000 from my inheritance. Did you think I wouldn't find out? Her voice changes, gets defensive. That was Brett's money to invest. He said it came from his bonuses. He lied. It came from my grandmother's inheritance. Money that was legally mine that he transferred without my knowledge or consent. And you knew exactly what he was doing because you're his business partner. You signed the LLC documents. You're listed on every bank account. Silence. Marlo, I have bank statements. I have the LLC operating agreement with your signature. I have emails where you two planned this whole thing. And I'm going to use all of it in court unless you tell me the truth right now. Lydia, please. When did you know he was using my money? Her voice cracks. About 4 months ago. He told me he'd liquidated some investments. But then I saw a bank transfer memo that said joint savings, and I asked him about it. He said you'd agreed to invest in our company, that you were supportive. And you believed him? Yes, I wanted to believe him. I loved him. Loved. Past tense. Interesting. I'm just less destroyed than I was before. 3 weeks pass in a blur of legal meetings, document reviews, and court filings. Brett moves out of the Four Seasons and into a cheap extended stay hotel. Marlo stops posting on Instagram. The divorce is moving forward, ugly and public and exactly what he didn't want. I should feel victorious. Instead, I feel tired. I'm sitting in my kitchen, staring at a cup of coffee that's gone cold when my phone buzzes. Unknown number. You don't know the whole story. Meet me. M. My heart stops. Marlo. I stare at the message for a long time. Sharon would tell me to delete it, block the number, don't engage. This is a trap. It has to be. But what if it's not? What if there's more to this nightmare that I haven't uncovered yet? My fingers hover over the keyboard. Then I type when and where. Her response is immediate. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. Coffee shop on 5th and Main. Come alone. I should tell Sharon. I should tell Vanessa. I should definitely not go alone to meet the woman who helped destroy my marriage. But I'm going anyway, because I need to know. I need to know if there's any truth left in this pile of lies. I arrive at the coffee shop 15 minutes early, positioning myself at a corner table where I can see the door. My lawyer's number is ready to dial. Vanessa knows where I am. I've taken every precaution. But when Marlo walks in, she doesn't look like someone coming to fight. She looks destroyed. Her hair is pulled back in a messy ponytail. No makeup. Dark circles under her eyes. She's wearing jeans and an oversized sweater, nothing like the polished woman from her Instagram photos. She sees me and hesitates. For a second, I think she might bolt. But then she squares her shoulders and walks over. "Thank you for coming," she says quietly, sliding into the seat across from me. "You said I don't know the whole story. So tell me." She orders a coffee first. Her hands shake as she wraps them around the cup. When she finally speaks, her voice is barely above a whisper. "Brett lied to me. About everything." I lean back, crossing my arms. "You're going to have to be more specific. About you. About your marriage. About why he needed the money." She looks up at me and her eyes are red-rimmed. "Lydia, he told me you were abusive." The word hits me like a slap. "What?" "He said you controlled everything. His money, his schedule, his friends. He said you monitored his phone, that you'd blow up if he didn't text back immediately." He made it sound like he was trapped. She's crying now, tears sliding down her cheeks. He said the LLC was his escape plan, that he needed financial independence to leave safely. I can't breathe. That's insane. None of that is true. I know that now. But 6 months ago, when he was telling me these things, showing me texts where you'd ask where he was or who he was with, she shakes her head. He made it sound like surveillance, like you were controlling him. I asked normal spouse questions. "Where are you? When will you be home? Are you okay?" "I know. God, I know." But he twisted everything. He showed me your Instagram posts and said you were obsessed with appearances, that you forced him to pose for photos and play the perfect husband when really he was miserable. She wipes her eyes. "He told me the prank was proof, that you were so desperate to control the narrative that you'd humiliate him on camera." My stomach turns. "He told you about the prank?" "The next day. He called me crying, saying you'd set him up, that you tried to make him look bad for content. He said it was the final straw, that he couldn't live like that anymore." "So you believed him?" "Yes." Her voice breaks. "Because I loved him. Because I wanted to believe I was helping someone escape an abusive situation. Because he was so convincing." She reaches into her bag and pulls out her phone, opens her messages. "Read these." I take the phone reluctantly. The texts are from Brett, dated starting a year ago. I can't talk long. She checks my phone when I'm sleeping. Had to delete our conversation again. She found texts from a female colleague and accused me of cheating. "I'm sorry I can't call." She gets suspicious if I'm on the phone too long. Each message paints me as a paranoid, controlling monster. Each one positions him as a victim just trying to survive. "He played us both," I whisper. "There's more." Marlo takes her phone back, scrolls to a different conversation. "These are texts between me and my fiancé." "Had a fiancé? You were engaged?" "For 2 years. His name is David. We were planning a wedding." Her voice hardens. "Until Brett told me David wasn't right for me. That I was settling because I was scared to be alone. That what we had was real love, and I'd regret it if I didn't give us another chance." She shows me the messages. Brett's words are careful, manipulative. He doesn't outright tell her to leave David. He just plants seeds of doubt. Questions whether she's truly happy. Reminds her of their past. Suggests that maybe their divorce was a mistake they could correct. "I broke off my engagement 3 months ago," Marlo says. "David was devastated. My family was furious. But Brett promised we'd build something real this time. The LLC was supposed to be our fresh start. Let me guess. After I froze the accounts, he blamed you." She laughs bitterly. "He said I pushed him too hard to commit. That I made him move too fast. That he needed space." She meets my eyes. "He abandoned me the second things got difficult. Just like he abandoned you." We sit in silence for a moment, 2 women who loved the same man and got destroyed for it. "When did you figure it out?" I ask. 2 weeks ago. I flew here to confront him about the frozen accounts. He was staying at that extended stay hotel, and I showed up unannounced." She swallows hard. "There was another woman there." My heart stops. "What?" "Some paralegal from his office. Rachel. They were having drinks in his room. He introduced me as his business partner." The pain in her voice is visceral. He's been seeing her for at least a month. Maybe longer. Rachel. The woman he claimed was just a colleague. The one he swore meant nothing. He did it again. To both of us. "Marlo, I'm so sorry." "Don't be. I'm the idiot who believed him twice." She wipes her eyes. After that, I started really looking at everything. The texts, the timeline, the things he told me versus what actually happened. And I realized he's not a victim. He's not trapped. He's just a coward who can't be alone and needs someone to blame for his own choices. He's a con artist, I say flatly. He finds women, makes them feel special, uses them until he's bored, then lines up the next one before he leaves. And he's good at it. That's what makes it so dangerous. She leans forward. Lydia, I'm not here to apologize. I helped him steal from you. I knew something was wrong and I ignored it because I wanted him to be who I thought he was. That's on me. Then why are you here? Because you need to know that the lawsuit you filed, it's going to work. I'm not fighting it. I'm testifying for you. I stare at her. What? I'm telling the judge everything. The timeline, the lies, the manipulation. How he used both of us. How he forged documents and moved money without your consent. Her jaw sets. He doesn't get to destroy us and walk away clean. Marlo, if you testify, it'll ruin you too. I'm already ruined. My engagement is over. My reputation in Denver is shot. Everyone thinks I'm a homewrecker. She laughs without humor. At least this way, the truth comes out. At least people know he's the monster, not us. 2 weeks later, we're in court. Brett looks smaller than I remember. Thinner. His expensive suit doesn't fit right anymore. He won't look at me or Marlo. Sharon presents the evidence methodically. Bank statements, forged documents, email chains. The recording of Marlo admitting Brett lied about where the money came from. Then Marlo takes the stand. She's calm, composed. She tells the judge everything. How Brett portrayed me as abusive, how he manipulated her into ending her engagement, how he used both of us to fund a business that benefited only him. He's a pattern manipulator, she says clearly. He finds vulnerable people and makes them believe they're special. Then he takes what he needs and moves on. Brett's lawyer tries to discredit her, but the evidence is overwhelming. Text messages where Brett contradicts himself. Financial records showing he controlled every dollar. Testimony from his former boss about the contract violations. The judge doesn't deliberate long. Mr. Carter, you've displayed a stunning lack of integrity. You defrauded your wife, manipulated Ms. Chun, and violated the trust of your employer. I'm awarding Mrs. Carter full restitution of the stolen funds, plus damages for emotional distress and legal fees. The LLC is dissolved effective immediately, and all remaining assets will be liquidated to satisfy this judgment. Brett's lawyer tries to object, but it's over. I won. Outside the courthouse, Marlo stops me. I hope you find peace, she says. Real peace. Not the kind that comes from revenge, but the kind that comes from knowing your worth. You too, I say. And I mean it. She nods and walks away. We're not friends. We'll probably never speak again. But we survived the same storm, and there's something in that. Vanessa is waiting by my car. We haven't been the same since the prank. Since I screamed at her, blamed her, pushed her away. Congratulations, she says carefully. I heard you won. Yeah, I did. Does it feel good? I think about that. It feels like justice, but it doesn't feel good. She nods like she understands. I'm sorry, Lydia, for all of it. I should never have pushed you to do that prank. I was treating your life like content. I let you. I was so focused on what our marriage looked like online that I stopped paying attention to what it actually was. Are we? She trails off, uncertain. Are we okay? I don't know. I need time to figure out who I am without Brett, without the performance, without any of it. I look at her. But thank you for being there when I needed you. Even after I pushed you away. She hugs me tight. I'll be here when you're ready. 6 months later, I'm sitting in my living room. My living room now, bought out Brett's half with the settlement money, and I'm deleting videos. The prank video. The ones of us looking happy. The ones where I performed our perfect life for strangers. Delete, delete, delete. Each one feels like shedding skin. My Instagram is private now. Barely used. I post pictures of sunsets sometimes, or books I'm reading. No captions about gratitude or couple goals. Just things that make me happy. Vanessa and I get coffee once a month. We're not as close as we were, but we're finding our way back. She deleted the video about Brett. Said it felt wrong to keep profiting from my pain. Brett moved to Phoenix. Couldn't find work in real estate law. So he's doing contract document review. From what I hear, Rachel didn't last long. He's already moved on to someone new. I hope she's smarter than I was. My phone buzzes. A notification from my doorstep camera. There's a package. Inside is a Christmas card. The front shows a snowy mountain scene. I open it. Lydia, I hope you're well. I'm rebuilding in Denver. Got a new job, new apartment, new life. It's not what I planned, but it's honest. Thank you for not letting him win. M. I propped the card on my mantle. We're not friends, but we survived. And survival, I'm learning, is its own kind of victory. My therapist asks me sometimes if I regret the prank. If I wish I could go back and make a different choice. The truth is complicated. The prank didn't destroy my marriage. It revealed that my marriage was already destroyed. Brett didn't leave because I handed him fake divorce papers. He left because he'd been planning to leave for months, and I gave him an excuse. But I learned something in the wreckage. Some jokes aren't worth the punchline. Some marriages were never real to begin with. And some victories cost more than you want to pay. I'm alone now. Truly alone for the first time in years. No husband, no performance, no perfect life to maintain. And slowly, painfully, I'm learning that being alone isn't the same as being destroyed. I'm rebuilding, one honest day at a time. The cameras are gone. The videos are deleted. The girl who thought her life was content is gone too. What's left is just me. And for the first time in a long time, that's enough. Retry.